Let's talk about Chennai. Talking about a team from yesterday. Geez, that was heartbreaking. Middle of the tournament, you just ended up thinking that, is this team now firmly yesterday? Thankfully, they showed in towards the end of the tournament that there was enough tomorrows in this team as well, and that they will, they could be a force to reckon with. Joy, I mean, we've spoken enough about what's gone wrong. I'll tell you what I see here. They started off against Mumbai. Yes, Mumbai doesn't start well, and then after that, just the chases that they had wrong. Right, they just couldn't chase. The next 6 games they were chasing. They won only 1, which was by 10 wickets. And then they just got it all wrong in the other 5 chases. And this is how they got it wrong. We broke it down. At the halfway mark, it just seemed like they were leaving too much for the end. And Joy, I remember you saying this. They seemed to be a team that was working on previous year's templates, which was start solid, start strong. And then after that, you'll make it up in the end. They weren't even starting solid or strong. If you see the first 4 games, they've lost 2, they've lost 4, they've lost 3, they've lost 4 in really big chases, which you can never come back from. And then they, even when they were doing well with their net run rate, somehow they lose. Like that Kolkata game is just unfathomable how they lost that game. I think for most people, perhaps the lack of intent of that game was the final nail in the coffin as Chennai fans of just going, I can't watch this. This is too painful.
Yeah, I think that's what the point is, that they're such legendary chasers that they've set themselves. The problem is that that template is stuck in their heads. It's very difficult to get rid of it. And the point is, 2 years back, those 6s would be hit in the last few overs. They'd get that 14, 15 last over. They can't do it now. When is the last time Dhoni has picked up a bat in anger? And I say that because a bat in anger is a different matter from picking up a bat in net practice. These are 2 totally different things. So he no longer can do that. And if you look at Dhoni at one time for India or for CSK, if Dhoni was there at the end, they had for India, I think it was 1 match out of 35 in ODIs that Dhoni was there in the end and India didn't win the match. And that guy not timing his chases, his timing was just off and he couldn't do it. And in the beginning there was this mild thing that, okay, a couple of matches and the cobwebs will come off. But after 2-3 matches, he realized it's not coming off. And that's when he turned around, he's looking at the dressing room, other people are contributing. They aren't that good because also, remember one thing, he's not just a great player. He's a talisman in the team. There are 2 things about Chennai. Whenever Chennai, you played against them, you were scared of them just because of that man. That man didn't need to do anything. Okay, he was a talisman. He was playing against Dhoni. Any team, ask Mumbai, ask KKR, and I know I've been there. Okay, playing against Dhoni was a big thing. You don't know what he's thinking. What is this man going to come up? Suddenly, he looked human. The other team suddenly said, you know what? We can play against this guy. And that is a huge difference. Leave alone what he does with the bat. Him not looking at you and saying, dude, I don't know what this guy's thinking. I don't know what he's going to come up with. Other teams not being scared by that is 50% of the battle won against CSK.
Joy talked about the template changing. I mean, CSK used to assume that मैं हूं ना, धोनी है, ऐसे हो जाएगा. It's going to happen like this. That first 2 reels, it's like in old Shami Kapoor movies. First 2 reels, I'm this rich kid wearing fancy satin clothes. I go to Kashmir. Next 3-4 reels, I sing the song. By the interval, I started to romance. After the interval, Pran will come. And Pran can start to make his moves because in the last 2 reels, I'm going to beat him up and get the heroine back anyway. So it doesn't matter whatever he does in the last 2 reels, I'm going to beat him up and win the heroine again. But now in the last 2 reels, one villain got up and said, but excuse me, mere ko bhi chahiye. And so that template changed a little bit. So you see the first few games. You see the first few games, the reason they fell short was that is how they always chased.
Correct.
Look at the 2018 campaign when they won. See how many games they literally pulled out of the fire because they were like Ferguson's United, they were like Dhoni's Chennai. When there was little time left, only they won.
Yep.
So that when that template changed, I think Dhoni realized, okay, I don't have that firepower at the end. And that's why he said at this last press conference, at this last presentation, that I don't know about the auction, but I think we now have to start handing over the team.
Yeah.
And that it's not working.
Yeah, they have a few. See, this was also another frustration, right, for all of us, where he was saying, you've got Sam Curran almost as a younger Dwayne Bravo. Like, that's the handover that you'll want to do. Therefore, them both playing together is not allowing you to play, Hazelwood and Ngidi, and you need help in that department. And your insistence to play both Watson and Faf, and perhaps you should be just playing one. So I think it was these small things, and we've realized by looking at other teams that sometimes it's only one change that you need to make. Because it's not a physical change, it's a change in thought that just allows your balance to fall. And when we get to other teams, we'll get to that as well. And that happened to them. Towards the end, Rituraj Gaikwad comes in, gives them a bit. You get either Ngidi or Hazelwood. And suddenly, they dropped Bravo or Bravo got injured. Suddenly it just started making a little more sense when they got that balance together. And this is what
as Faf kept saying. And as Faf kept saying, I'm not old yet. The wine matures with age. I've got time to come.
Absolutely. And an international player.
Faf can continue, Faf can continue, but all of us in life always try to deliver one performance more than we can.
Dhoni needs a few more henchmen. He's always had the henchman who, I think Joy makes a really valid point that there are most people in life demand respect, some command it. And MS is just that kind of guy who just commanded that respect from his team. And I don't know just how he just managed to get everybody to deliver 1.5x when they had just committed to delivering 1. So it's just something that he did, right, Joy? It's just something he figured out.
And there's so many ways he do it. Like, you're going up to meet a team, and this is early on, 2011-12, and you had a 1-hour meeting, discussion, action plan. This is what we are going to do, this, that, all the rest of it. So you ask, Steve Fleming is there walking around. So Fleming, what happened to you? Oh, good meeting. 5 minutes. We chatted, we sang a song, we came away. And dude, you can't do this to us. We've taken you with so much respect. Our bowling team unit has had a meeting, our batting unit has had a meeting, we've had a team meeting, our analyst has spent 3 hours. You came, you sang a song, and you came and beat us. I mean, that's ridiculous. And it was part psychological, but it was so successful that it's unbelievable what an impact Dhoni had on the world. When you beat Dhoni in Chennai, that's when, I'm telling you, when, say, KKR won its title in 2012, they knew they could win when we beat Dhoni in Chennai. Because he's like, dude, I mean, you can't beat me. Do whatever you want, you can't beat me. And
that final, I thought that Shah Rukh is going to jump off the Chepauk balcony, right? I mean, I remember that. It just obviously meant a lot. But Harsha, just to round up the Chennai conversation, I have one question. There was a lot of people, and I know that there were a lot of obituaries being written about this Chennai team. I just want to ask, they've not finished last, right? They've got 12 points.
No.
Was it as bad as people made it out to be? Is it as dire and as drastic as people, or have people just reacted to the fact that the team didn't qualify?
Now, for 70% of the tournament, it was dire. For 70% of the tournament, you have to accept it was dire. And as Fleming said afterwards, we missed that one big Indian batsman. Yeah. Whether it could have been Raina, we don't know, because Raina hasn't played much cricket in the last 2 years. He had a sort of middling kind of tournament last year, hasn't played cricket since last year. So we don't know if it could have been Raina. In the absence of Raina, somebody who was a middle order batsman for India at the 2019 World Cup should have stepped up, but they got absolutely nothing from him. And that's Kedar Jadhav. He was supposed to be that person. So they got nothing from him. And one other thing that we all made a mistake, CSK made a mistake too, assuming that the tracks will be slow and turn. They replaced Kane Richardson with Adam Zampa. And so they were stuck with Steyn and Udana. Udana didn't come off. Udana had a terrible tournament.
You're talking about Bangalore.
No. You're talking about...
Sorry, I'm talking about Bangalore. Sorry, I moved to Bangalore.
Hazelwood and Ngidi,
yeah.
Sorry, I'm talking to Bangalore. But I'm talking Hazelwood and Ngidi. And Ngidi was not always available too.
Yeah.
See how did I go to Bangalore?
I didn't
was
know.
that next on your list? Did I by mistake? Did I see that team list by mistake?
Yeah, I thought that maybe we skipped 5 minutes in the show. People will realize that we shot this in the morning today. Oops.
Hazelwood and Ngidi. No, I wanted to talk about Udana and Steyn. So
we will come to that. But they didn't. But they were just not playing them, right? That was the problem, Harsha. That they were just not playing them. Is what we spoke about. That you needed that one pace spearhead, but their insistence to play both Watson and Faf, and then both Curran and Bravo, right?
I mean, they couldn't play Hazelwood.
Then
and look at all the teams that did well. The team that did well had this dominating fast bowler. They had to have Hazelwood and Ngidi. They had to have them.
Yeah.
And that is why, if they had the Indian batsman, they could have played Hazelwood and Ngidi.